When I talk to my colleagues and graduate students who are anticipating joining the ranks of the professorate, and my colleagues who are thinking about becoming online professors, not just conventional professors, there are four basic things that I recommend that they take into consideration. The first one is by far the most important, and I think it translates into better conventional classes as well as online classes, but it's a necessity for online classes to be a success. And that is that we recognize students as active learners, not as passive recipients of knowledge. The worst thing that we can do in an online class is to overload the students with information with the expectation that they are going to be able to regurgitate that or somehow repeat it in some way that they demonstrate they've memorized what we've told them. And that just creates a very, very unhealthy and unappealing and unsatisfactory experience for everyone involved. Students, I like to call them learners rather than students, but learners and the teachers or professors alike. The second important aspect is that we make sure we engage the learners in the process of learning. This comes naturally if you accept the first premise that the students are active learners, not passive recipients. And in that engagement process, it's important to develop dimensions of the class that provide students with the opportunity not only to engage with one another and the professors, but also to engage with the material, to actually work with the material, apply it and use it and demonstrate their familiarity with the basic concepts as well as some of the more sophisticated and complex concepts associated with whatever field of knowledge that you are encouraging people to learn in. The third important lesson that I encourage colleagues to think about is that they need to ensure that the students are able to engage with one another by building aspects of engagement into the syllabus, the assessment processes, and all of the requirements for the class. Many times in conventional classes, we create assignments that allow students to go off independently and demonstrate their particular knowledge and familiarity with the material. Rarely do we have an opportunity to both watch and listen to them engaging with one another with the material. And that's something that's very, very important in the online environment. And then finally, and probably as important as the first lesson or the first issue that I raised, is that the faculty member must be flexible. When you create a syllabus around an online environment, you have to always anticipate problems, technological problems that might occur. Some students may have already tested all of their equipment and have all of the necessary plugins and equipment necessary to complete the class, but on the night of a particular assignment, their workstation goes down, their internet connection goes down, something happens and they aren't able to complete the assignment. And if you approach the class with a rigid, time-oriented focus, those students are going to lose points through no fault of their own. And so the flexibility of the professor helps to ensure that all students are able to have a useful and productive experience in the learning environment, but also it provides them with an example of, I think, a very important necessity for life at large, and that is to always have second or third options available that you make available for everybody without any kind of judgment or bias, but that you encourage students to be able to continue their education even when they fail to meet one or more of the particular objectives due to some kind of problem that's out of their control.